When your yard needs the royal treatment, Grass King has you covered. Whether it's mowing, trimming, or hedge care, our expert team delivers pristine results every time. Give your yard the throne it deserves. Call or text Grass King today for your free estimate. 256-393-6055. Call or text 256-393-6055. Grass King, your lawn's royalty.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Real good.
Why they stopping me?
And you know what day it is, J-Dub White.
You know, it's the day we just talk ball with our ball coach.
That's right.
The Coach Steve Smith Show. Welcome, Coach. How are you?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Man, it's long overdue. Jeff and I talk about this. You're our favorite show every year because we just get to talk ball.
That's it.
Maybe it's baseball. Maybe it's basketball.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whatever it is, we get to just hang out and talk ball, which is fantastic. We enjoy that more than you possibly know.
Well, I enjoy it too. It's a fun time for me.
Well, we're not going to talk about the Braves this right now because the injury bug is hit. So I know you're just as ticked off as I am.
Yeah, I saw a funny comment about them the other day. They come back home to play the Phillies, and it looks like the outfields went on the DL as well.
I'm telling you, what's the spots
That
out
concert, they had a concert out there. I think it might have been Luke Bryan or somebody. They had a concert on the field while the Braves were out of town, and I don't know whose idea it was to have a concert right in the middle of the season, but I believe center field's now on the DL as well.
there? It looked terrible.
Did you guys sign Gio Urshela yesterday?
Yeah, one of the more former Yankee rejects, right?
Well, no, he was only with us for a short time,
Yeah.
but he was. He's a great teammate, solid.
Yeah.
He's not gonna make mistakes. You know, he's a former batting champion, so he can do
He
it.
was a big time prospect.
Yeah.
At one time.
I didn't realize Toronto let him go, to be honest. So Toronto's a team.
I love how he cuts you out. Every time he throws off on the Yankees, he'll cut them eyes.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing. That's why I love Steve.
We're built, but here's the thing: he's the guy that I can go right back at.
That's right.
And
You
it's
can.
just good fun.
Good fun.
That's the people I
It
like
is.
to talk ball with.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the ones that get up and throw stuff and want to fight. I'm just having fun.
That's right.
You think I don't know when my team's horrible? You think I don't know we ain't won a championship since 09? You think I don't know those things? Of course I know them. Jeff reminds me all the time.
I mean, don't you feel a little bit of false humility from him, though? I mean, kind of just he says those things knowing how they're playing right now. Right.
And if
First
if
place
it
called
needs-
one game. Oh.
Yeah, but it's back-to-back home runs every single freaking day with the two big guys.
But they're playing okay.
They're
Playing well.
playing pretty good.
Playing well. If we can get Giancarlo to hit the ball. But when he hits it, he almost kills people.
That's true.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
If you're a fan in the stands, dunk.
Why don't you real quick hit our sponsors, because we just want to tell you guys thank you for bringing the Westbrook Christian Football Show with Coach Steve Smith every single week. Just thank you guys for what you're doing.
No doubt, man. It gets no better than Choice Fabrication. David Chadwick, the dude is Westbrook. No one loves Rainbow City as much. Him and Joe Taylor are back and forth. I mean, they're right there for 1A and 1B. God bless them, man. And also, of course, sponsor is City of Rainbow City Mayor Joe Taylor Show. Grass King, don't get your grass cut by the grass. If you're going to get your grass cut, might as well make it the royal treatment with Grass King. And our newest sponsor, Absolute Respiratory Care. And what I'm going to say about him, Jeff, is I didn't realize this. Coach, you probably did. They also focus in the sleep apnea world. So if you have sleep apnea, apnea. That's like
Or a speech impediment.
Yeah, I'm having a stroke. Just so ready to talk football. So if you have those sleep issues, you can get your equipment there. Everything going on in that world, they are the place to go get them. I wouldn't go anywhere else. They are incredible, and I'm all about local. So when you get local people poured into the local high schools, and they love the city of Rainbow City. So thank you so much, Carrie. I know you're watching. Appreciate you.
Well, you'd be glad to know, Coach, when Jerry approached some of these folks, he does all of our sales, and when he said Westbrook, Yeah, I mean, it was pretty quick where they said, absolutely, I'm in. So you got a lot of folks that just love the program and love the school out there. So
Very appreciative of that, too. I want to make sure that I get that out there. We appreciate all the ones that support our school and support the program and those things. It means a lot to us for those people to have our back, and we appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Well, it was that one sponsor that I didn't realize was the Southside business.
no.
They turned me down quick, Coach.
He said,
It's
"What?
okay.
No."
It's okay.
It's okay.
Tell me that
I'm
quick.
sure they support their school.
They-
And that's perfectly
in the way it
fine.
should be.
That's the way
Sure.
it's supposed to be. That's perfectly okay.
Let's do this. Let's kind of break, just kind of reminisce about last year a little bit. Right, first year, the whole year was like your head was on fire. Right, had to get stuff done.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a productive first year. It's the best way I can characterize it. We finished 5-5 and then missed out on the playoffs, which every team's goal at the beginning of the year is to be one of those 4 teams that grab a playoff spot. And we were a playoff caliber team some weeks, and some weeks we weren't. We just a lot of that being getting familiar with each other, players, coaches, and all. Obviously, looking back on the season, I saw several things that I could have done better, put us in better positions to have a chance to win a couple more games. And never one time though did we have a problem with the effort of the kids. The kids gave great effort. The coaches come to work every week and did a great job in their preparation. Just some things probably from the top level on my end that I could have done a little bit better to give us a little bit better chance. And those are some things that we focused on in the off season to be able to try to improve in those areas. And we had a great off season. Our kids worked extremely hard, made tremendous gains in the weight room, and our numbers are up. I think we've got 61 on the varsity roster, 9 through 12, and that's an increase of about 14 from last year. I think last year we had 47. So the interest in football at the school has been tremendous. I think we got 31, 32 on our roster with 7th and 8th grade, and then we actually started our own 5th and 6th grade team back within our school.
Oh, heck yeah.
They had a Pee Wee program there at Westbrook at one time, and it kind of fizzled out. And I told someone, I said, we're really worried about trying to get the ones that we've got in our building getting used to playing for Westbrook. And last year we had kids at Westbrook that played for 7 different Pee Wee teams because us having a team there in the community, they found a place to play. And we thought, what better way to start, building our program foundationally than with kids at Westbrook in that 5th and 6th grade playing together. So that's something that we've undertaken this year to try to grow the program. We got 22 kids in that group. So, really 5 through 12, we got over 100 kids participating and got everybody on the same page, and we're all working together to try to build the program from the ground up. There were already a lot of good things going on at Westbrook. We talked about that many times last year. Coach Knowles left the program in great shape. A lot of good assistants that were there with him that stayed on with us, and then we added a couple more. We're just trying to do a better job of maximizing all that we have. We've got the best facilities, in my opinion, in the state of Alabama.
Even including some colleges.
No question about that.
I'm not saying them all, but it'd be hard pressed for me to think anyone's got better facilities than we've got.
Yeah.
So our administration's done a great job giving us that opportunity to be successful. Our W Club has been tremendous as far as what they've contributed, to be able to help do the extra stuff. Things that,
Wesley's the president?
Wesley Patterson,
Yeah.
that's right. He's the president, and we share a common vision there of the things that the W Club would like to be able to do for the sports program as a whole at Westbrook. They've done a wonderful job supplementing what the school has with those nice extras to be able to take it to the next level and give our kids some opportunities maybe that you wouldn't see at every place. So very appreciative of our W Club and Wesley's leadership there, and just the school as a whole. People getting behind us, the faculty, the administration, everybody there at the support staff, just getting on board, wanting to be a part of Westbrook athletics. And here we are in the fall. Obviously, we're focusing on football and volleyball and cross country, cheerleading, the things that are going on. But that same mentality carries over through the winter sports and then in the spring sports. And ultimately, our goal is to try to make Westbrook Christian the premier athletic program in the state in our class. So that's what we're trying to do.
Well, on the way. I'm looking at different stats, just overall stats from last year. And you guys, you ought to be, really pleased. Obviously, you always want to improve. You're Steve Smith, right? You want to improve on several things, but you're looking at your completions, right? Way above the national average. You got your passing attempts, which is good, but also the reception, your passing yards, 1,430. 32 or something like that yards, and then you're looking at all these different stats. You guys are doing the right things,
Right.
And you as a coach obviously doing what you've done, state champions. I mean, you've produced region champions. You've produced college ball players, but you produce great young men. These guys, when they leave high school football playing with Steve Smith, they know how to play football. They know how to coach their kids. That's one thing that I love. It's not just putting them to the next level. You're teaching them how to do the right things.
Well, I think that's the biggest role of a coach. Obviously everybody that's involved in athletics, whether it's the youth level, college level, professional level, high school level, whatever, you want to win. I mean, nobody likes to win any more than me. I'll just say that up front. I'm extremely competitive. You want your kids to succeed, and you want to give them every possible opportunity to stretch it to the limit on getting the most out of them. That mentality, some people call it old school, hard nosed, all the different things they're used to describe it. I didn't invent anything with football. Everything that I teach, I either learned from somebody or stole from somebody.
Sure.
And but the relationships with the players is, in my opinion, the number one part of any successful program or business or church or anything else. It's all about relationships. And the thing that I hope that these kids at Westbrook find as they get to know me more and more, and we get deeper into this partnership, is I care about them as individuals. I want to see them be successful. I want to see them be able to be successful in their communities and their families, be good husbands, be good daddies, lead in the church, do the things that they're supposed to do. And I'm just thankful that the Lord gave me the platform to be able to work with them through sports, because it's something that I had a passion for growing up. There's a lot of life lessons that can be taught through sports, football in particular. It's tough. Football's a hard sport. It's hot outside. It's physical. There's a lot of things about football that can teach you about perseverance and teamwork and accountability and punctuality and all those things that we view as important traits as we grow up into young men. You can learn a lot of those things in football. Now, one thing that's really cool at Westbrook is we've got tremendous kids that have parents at home that entrust us to take them after school and continue to build on what they're trying to teach them at home. And as a coach, when you have that role to play, that you're supplementing what's already being enforced at home, and those parents have your back. They trust you that you're going to push them, but they got your back, that they know you're not harming them, that you're just trying to make them better. I can't tell you how many parents I've had at Westbrook come up to me and just say, "Hey, Coach, you got them when they're at school. Do what you got to do with them. Let us know if there's anything that we can do to supplement what you're trying to do." And that's really a cool thing, because I think a lot of times at certain places there seems to be some conflict between what's being said at home and what's being said at the team and all that, and there's jealousy and envy and things of that nature. I've been very fortunate. This is my third stop between Piedmont and Cedar Bluff beforehand and at Westbrook, and I've been blessed at all three stops to have kids that bought into what we were wanting to do. They put the team first, and at all three places I had tremendous parental support of, "Coach, 3 to 5:30, when you got them, they're yours. Do what you got to do with them. We'll have you back." And that just makes it really, really cool. And Westbrook, these people have welcomed me, and they welcomed our staff. They welcomed what we're trying to do. Tremendous support. We had a little scrimmage last Friday night. I probably had 500 people there just watching the scrimmage, and just the excitement and the enthusiasm that's out there for football. And Westbrook has had plenty of success in athletics over the years. There's a lot of red and blue maps in the trophy case at Westbrook from various sports.
Sure.
To see the energy and the excitement that we have right now going on for football and the anticipation of the season coming up in football, it's really been a neat thing to watch.
One thing that Jerry and I are talking about, especially here lately, going back to what you just said about coaching, being an extension of the parent, supplementing what they do at home.
Right.
It's great to be at a Christian school that emphasizes Jesus first, education, then athletics, which builds character around all.
Right.
Right now, we won't talk about certain issues, but we've seen coaches be in the spotlight for mistreating or misusing the trust that's been placed in them with these young men. I love the fact that you made that statement, that I am able to supplement, because they are these people's children, but you are aiding what these people are doing, continuing that. And at a Christian school, you're able not only just to to pour your football knowledge in them. You're able to open up and freely pour in Jesus unashamedly. And you did that anyway at Piedmont, but you did it also within the parameters of what you were allowed to do. But here you've got, and how refreshing is it to have the reins just thrown off and you're able to just be Steve Smith in every facet right there.
It's really cool, because I just use today as an example. We had practice. We practice on Thursday mornings, do our walkthrough on Thursday morning, 6:15. After that, we had a tremendous group of parents that showed up to fix a big breakfast, pancakes, bacon, and all for the kids. Fed them before they go to school. We'll have weight training this afternoon, our normal time slot. And then we have FCA every Thursday. We have an FCA speaker that comes in every Thursday. We don't make it mandatory. If the kids want to come, they can. It's an option. We don't just do it just for football. If we got kids from other sports that want to come to it, but just the opportunity to be able to have something like that on your campus, in your facility, without having to get special permission, without having to be worried about, and I will say this now, the city of Piedmont, school system at Piedmont, they were tremendous about giving us the support. The city of Piedmont never backed down from some of those letters that you would get from these places off in Wisconsin, the groups that would try to get you to shut down praying after the game, and they took that on tooth and nail and said we ain't standing for that mess. And
thankfully,
and I was glad to be a part of that school system and that city that stood behind it. But also here at Westbrook, when you don't just have the permission, you got the pat on the back that, we want you to do stuff like that. You got kids at our school, had another coach from another sport come in, he's got some players that's wanting to lead a Bible study, and that, again, I'm always quick to point out that just because we're a Christian school and just because we got FCA going on, just because we got people wanting to lead Bible studies, that don't make us any better than anybody else.
No.
Don't make us any better. Right. It doesn't mean that we don't have coaches that slip up, doesn't mean that we don't have kids that slip up, teachers that slip up. We're not any better than anybody else just because we're at a Christian school.
That's right.
And we don't want to use that as a crutch to think that it gives us a free pass to act the way we want to act. We still need to be humble. We still need to have a servant's mentality. You are under the microscope a lot more because the things that you do there are going to be magnified if you're talking one game and living another.
That's right.
But just like the Christian faith in general, I mean, you're going to have people throwing rocks at you. You're going to have persecution. You're going to have people that's going to call you out on anything that's in contrast to what you let come out of your mouth. Yeah. So it is really, really cool, though, that you can be at a place to where you can have a great chapel service like we had yesterday morning with worship and praise choruses, and you seeing kids and faculty members being able to worship freely.
Heck yeah.
It's a really good thing, and being able to talk to our kids about life lessons and not having to be worried about what you say and if it offends somebody. I've always felt like if you were trying to speak truth and you were trying to speak what come from the Bible, that sometimes those words are offensive. And
sure.
I've had times when I haven't been doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and the truth hurts sometimes, So just being able to have that environment and as coaches holding each other accountable, I really enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Had that same feeling when I was talking to my cardiologist. Sometimes truth hurts, Coach.
Truth to power. That's one of Jerry's favorite things, though. He'll send me pictures of your chapel services, and I know the kids and the faculty don't know that a lot of people taking photos. You have to do that to promote your school, right? But you see students with their hands raised and lifting and praising God. It's beautiful. And he'll text you, man, look at this. This is what it's about right here.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Ask him, how do you teach your kids when they come off the field or they're on the field and they're playing hard, right? Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you can't just bust somebody's head, right? Out there on that football field, right? But we've heard it more times than not.
Oh, gosh.
I thought you guys were Christians. You'll hear that all the time. How do you keep to coach your kids and teach them up through that?
I just tell them all the time that if Jesus played football, I think he'd be wide open.
Wouldn't he?
I don't think he did anything half-hearted.
That's right.
And I think if the rule was to go out there and head-to-head combat, make the other guy quit, that's the same philosophy that we use. And I just tell them, I expect from 7 to 9:30 for you to be a competitor, and you can be a competitor and still represent Christ.
That's right.
But if Jesus was out there, Jesus would try to be number one.
Yeah.
Imagine him into the disciples.
He ain't gonna let nobody touch
That's a good
John.
squad, Coach. That's a good squad.
There's 12 of them. He made. I guess he made 13. Had a couple of subs. Is all they
It's
had.
always
But
good to
that's
have
it.
some depth.
You know.
I need a guy that's willing to cut somebody's ear off. You know?
Don't we all?
Yes,
Don't
we
we all?
do, boy.
Woo, praise
That's
God.
great.
So let's get into a little bit of football this upcoming season. Lot of good things to build on. Your offense last year, I think, was top notch. Had 33 points a game, right at 33 points a game last year.
Okay.
You didn't know that stat.
No.
Very good offense. So you can obviously build on that.
Right.
But points is what the offense is about, right?
Right.
Points, scoring,
Right.
scoring points. Defense to keep it from scoring. But defense was, had some tough moments, but a lot of good things to build for defense as well. You got a lot of young kids in last year, and you have a very young, or Jeff and I think you have a very young team this year.
Right.
So that's scary for people playing you guys.
Well, we got 61 on the roster, as I mentioned earlier. I think 21 of them got 8 seniors. I think it's 13 juniors, so 40 of those players are 9th and 10th graders.
A couple sophomores, they're outstanding.
Well, we got some good young players, and we got some really good older players. Some guys that got some valuable experience last year. We are having to replace, most of our skill guys from last year. Most of those guys on those charts that you were talking about, the stats, the leading receiver, quarterback, leading rushers. A lot of those guys were seniors last year, and they did a wonderful job for us in year one of our tenure there. So we didn't gain a whole lot of experience at the offensive skill positions last year. We got a couple guys coming back, that were in the top 5 or so, rushing or receiving. But that's going to be a part of our team that is going to evolve as the year goes on. And if you ask me today exactly what's the running back rotation, receiver rotation, quarterback rotation, I mean, we've got several guys that we're working in those positions, and we've got a lot of guys that we really like. Still just trying to put the pieces together to get the right combinations on the field. Offensively, I think our strong suit this year should be our offensive line. We've got 4 guys on the offensive line that started a majority of the season last year. So
3 seniors on the OL?
3 seniors on the offensive line, and actually we got a 4th senior on the offensive line that moved over there, I guess, the second week of practice. So we got 4 seniors on the offensive line. We got 2 in the secondary, and then we've got I think it's make sure I'm telling you right, 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 secondary. No, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, 2 senior secondary players, and then 4 senior offensive linemen. That's our 8 seniors.
Yeah. If you're going to be experienced, offensive line's a good place to have it.
Sure.
Well, it's a good place for those young skilled guys to kind of grow into their role.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it's one of those things, coaches. You feel better when you got some returning guys up front.
Sorry, my phone's blowing up here. That's Coach Swain Morris. He says hello.
Coach Morris over there in Georgia,
He is.
getting ready for another big season.
I'm headed to see him tonight.
They won a couple championships. So is tonight the night they're playing?
No, they play tomorrow night.
They play tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
This is
didn't
a
know.
long trip, so
A lot of people are. I think Georgia. Somebody told me some Georgia schools played regular
Last
season
week.
games last
They
week.
did, yeah.
That's great.
Wow.
So let's talk about your special teams.
Yeah.
You've always been a big proponent of special teams.
Yeah.
Like, you love coaching special teams. And I know you don't like really talking certain individual kids, Coach, but
Right.
I'm going to throw it at you because I'm really impressed. Reed Barber.
Right.
This kid, if he continues on the path that I think he's currently on,
Right.
can be very, very special.
Yeah, Reed has he had a bad ankle sprain from a basketball team play date there that he got in June, and he's still not where he wants to be. He's about 2 months out from that injury, but he's got a world of talent, and Reed Barber is one of the best kids you'll ever meet. He's an extremely hard worker. He's put a lot of time and energy into his craft. He's as good of a high school place kicker as I've ever coached in 30-plus years, and he's just a sophomore.
Yeah.
And he's really, really conscientious of trying to do all the little things right. He's got a very strong leg. He's even in his progression, he's only taking 2 steps and kicking right now like he does on his extra point field goal. That's the same approach he's taking on kickoff. He's not even getting the 8 or 10 steps back and getting the run and go. And probably about one of every 4 or 5 he'll kick at practice is going in the end zone that way. So I think when he gets back to 100%, he's able to take his full approach on the kickoff. I've been kidding him. I said, you've already shown me that you can do it. Now I'm just going to expect you to do that every time. And a lot of times people, until they change the rules in high school, that's a huge weapon when you put it in the end zone and make somebody have to start at the 20 and go 80 yards versus, giving up a return out to the 35 or so. I mean, it's a significant difference when you can put the ball in the end zone. And we're very fortunate to have Reed, and very, very glad to get to work with a young man that has the work ethic that he does and the talent that he does.
And again, Jeff, sophomore.
That's crazy.
That's got to make you happy.
Yeah.
Got to make you happy. You remember when you were a sophomore?
I do remember.
You wasn't kicking it in the end zone.
Nope. No, I never kicked it in the end zone. I was a senior. I wasn't kicking it in the end zone.
Yeah, but you sure were spinning the ball, huh?
I was decent at best, surrounded by great talent.
Jeff.
I see what he did.
No. He was
good.
He was really good.
He was good.
Don't let me fool you. That modesty.
No, that's not Jerry White modesty. That's real.
100%.
It's real.
No, 100%. But I'll brag on him.
Good.
I was on some really, really good teams.
You were.
We had 2 that played it out. 2 signed with Alabama, 2 signed with Auburn, and 2 signed with Jacksonville State besides myself, and then 1 signed with Sanford. So I was on some really good teams when I was in high school, and we kid that probably the best one of all of us didn't play after the last game of our senior year. We always joke we all turned our equipment in on Monday. He turned his equipment, his books, and everything in. He was done. But
He was going to work, huh?
He was better than all of us. But
Wow.
but so I played on some really, really talented
I'll make this
teams.
statement, Jeff. You take Coach off that team, they're not quite as good. You heard it from me first.
I
Heard
don't
it from me
know
first.
I don't know about that.
I do, but good news. My microphone's a little louder than yours, so I'm gonna.
And you lean in.
I was a
that's for
game
sure.
manager. I was a game manager before that was a term.
Let's see. Game management won Alabama some national championships, didn't it?
Sure did.
I turned around and handed it to
Say it.
somebody that was going to Alabama and throw it
pretty
every
cool.
now and then to somebody that was going to Auburn, and that was my job.
I mean, your
Smart.
chances were
It's
pretty
pretty smart,
good.
right?
You throw it up.
Let's see. You go. Let me give it to you. So you guys have a jamboree game,
Right.
so to speak. I don't know what they call these things. I guess jamboree games this week, and your schedule, 9-team region, and you decide to go play a team in Tennessee. Then your other is Mumford. That's your other non-region game.
Right.
Coach, it ain't easy, man.
Sure,
No,
wow.
no,
Not
it's
easy.
a challenging schedule, and
3-8-6.
it's something that
Yeah.
something I'm really excited about. Familiar with that region, or for the most part that region. Us in Glencoe, and then 5 schools from Calhoun County, and then J.B. Pennington, somebody I have a little familiarity with, playing them a few times when I was at Piedmont, and then Locust Fork. When you look at, they won 12 games last year, and they've got a quarterback coming back that's a potential player of the year in the state for our classification. And
Coach Adams don't get the credit he deserves, I think.
I met Coach Adams for the first time at the Super 7 last year.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with him individually as a person, but after having an opportunity to watch some of their film from last year and see the product they put on the field, they were really, really good. So this region, top to bottom, I think it's going to be one of those situations where everybody each week has a chance to knock each other off. And yes, add Mumford as a non-region game. We'll try to go see them tonight. I think they're going to play an opener tonight versus Welborn, so that'd be 2 teams that are on our schedule. They're always extremely talented. And then Innovation Academy, I know nothing about them. Somebody said, well, how did you get them on the schedule? And I said, I had a friend that was a coach at Gatlinburg Pittman, Brad Wagner.
Great program.
And he knew where he come from, South Pittsburgh. Coach Stone there, that knew Coach Weaver at Innovation Academy, was looking for games. And I said, it's kind of like the REO Speedwagon song. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. Somebody's looking for a ball game.
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of how that came about. But don't really know a whole lot about them. They're first-year members in the Tennessee High School Athletic Association. They're playing a non-region schedule this year because Tennessee classifies next year. So we're not even on a 2-year deal with them. They're going to come to Westbrook and be our homecoming opponent week 7. And if it works out to where we're still going to need a game week 7 next year.
Yeah.
If it works out where they're off next year during that time, then we're going to go back and and have a return trip to their place. But as of right now, it's just a 1-year deal, which allowed us to have a full 10-game schedule, and then allowed us in Hoax Bluff to play tomorrow night in a jamboree, which Coach Rob and myself, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. Neither one of us, if you talk to us, we're not anywhere
Never
near.
going to win the game.
Well, not going to win a game. Rob's worse than me about that.
He is.
But,
I'll give you that one.
But, we never feel like you're ready. Never feel like you're ready to play. The jamboree kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how you're going to react against another team, give us some film on how we're going to compete, and can we execute the things that we think we can, and how we execute them. Of course, a lot of times that's dependent on the other team. And Oaks Bluff's going to have a great team this time. They beat our brains out last year. And so, it's something that we need to do a better job being more competitive against them. But I always enjoy playing teams like Coach Bluff and Coach Rob, because they're going to play hard, they're going to play within the rules, they're going to do things the right way. End of the night, you shake your hands, you move on. But we're probably going to do it structured. Another thing, we can kind of control it. So we're going to kind of go a half of varsity, and then maybe mix in some guys there in the third quarter and some JV guys in the second half, and just try to get film on us and see what we can do in a game type situation in a game that don't count toward the record.
Yeah, let me go over this region for the ones who don't know. 3A Region 6, Glencoe, Pennington, Locust Fork, Ohatchee, Piedmont, Sacs, Walter Welborn, Weaver, and, of course, Westbrook.
Right.
And it's a good mixture of coaches. There's some very quality veteran coaches. There's some younger coaches who are coming up. So I think that makes for a very interesting mix.
It does. There's a lot of guys in there that's been around for a long time. And
don't talk about Coach Martin like that.
Coach Martin's my buddy.
He's probably at the golf course.
He's my buddy, but he and then Coach Miller, that's at Piedmont now, has been in it for 20+ years and been a head coach for now the last 12, 13. And you see the Chris Finleys of the world over at Ohatchee, and Coach Kofer, who I've only got to know recently because he came to Weaver about the time I was leaving Calhoun County, but his reputation over in Georgia working at Heflin over there for a little while, I just think a lot of him. And then, of course, you got Jeff Smith at Welborn,
what does he know about football?
He's a Welborn legend. He played at Welborn.
What does Jeff Smith know?
Been back at Welborn since '09.
Yeah.
And has done a tremendous job there in his hometown with his home school. And I saw a picture on the cover of one of those magazines. I think it was maybe John Holder's High School Alabama football.
Great. It's a fantastic publication.
It's got the feature stories on Jeff and his family. He's got both his boys on staff there with him. And, of course, his wife is at the school. His daughter was a cheerleader and everything. Got all of them. They're Welborn through and through. And, it just makes for some fun times on Friday nights getting to compete against those folks.
The only one I've not met is Coach Freeney. I've not met him yet.
And I know him through a friend, through the Jacksonville State connection. Coach Freeney, was a Jack State player, and so a couple of mutual friends that we have speak very highly of him. I've never really spoken to him other than just on the phone or at the region meeting or something like that. But obviously had a great playing career at Jacksonville State, was a successful coach in Florida, and then Sachs called him back to Calhoun County. And Pennington, I think, changed coaches this year. I'm not.
Yeah, Jordan Cantrell.
And so I've never had a whole lot of communication with him, but just a lot of people that they're in communities. The thing I can say about all these teams in this region, they're all in communities where football matters.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a big thing. You got that support within your community, and those people have pride. And I've been to Pennington Stadium 3 or 4 times, and every time I've ever been to Pennington, it's just kept immaculate shape.
Yeah.
Beautiful campus. Everything's always in, where it's supposed to be, much like those places in Calhoun County and Glencoe, and what we're trying to do at Westbrook with making our place be a nice site for people to come in for visiting teams to have a good experience.
Yeah.
So just opportunities to go to some of these communities and see a lot of places where football is important.
Well, Coach Cantrell left Florala. He was the last 2 years.
Okay.
He was there, kind of the 6 degrees of separation of Kyle Davis.
Yeah, that's about right.
Kyle took that job from DAR, and Jordan did not leave the cupboard bare down there.
Right.
It's a talented program. So this region is incredible. So let's talk about the little things that get on, just frustrating things that a head coach deal with. Friday night game night. There's so many little things that you have to focus on that has nothing to do with playing a football game. Or I'm sorry, it's not directly related to coaching football. It's all the other stuff.
Well, you do it long enough, you try to start having some dress rehearsals, so to speak. So like we had a scrimmage at our place last Friday night. It was just us against us. But we used that as a chance to get the chains out, to get our chain crew working with an officials crew. We brought officials into the scrimmage so that the kids can get used to communicating with the officials. Officials communicate with the kids. You turn the scoreboard on, you turn the lights on, you do all those things, because a lot of times, I know early in my career, I didn't think about checking the PA. I didn't think about checking the scoreboard. Of course, when I started, you didn't have the LED boards, you had the bulbs. And so you had to check how many bulbs was out, and you go to Kmart or somewhere and buy a bunch of light bulbs and go screw them in so that your digits would be working. But, just a lot of those things that you learn over the course of, or through experience, I should say, that you try to prep for those types of things. The sideline fans work. Well, it's probably not a good idea to check those on Friday nights. You probably need to check those the week before.
It'd be problematic, right?
And of course you use your water coolers and all the time, but just having your sideline benches and just all the things that go on with it. And even with doing it for 30 plus years, there'll be things that I think of tomorrow that, I don't have on my checklist. Of course, my family would I guess confirm this, but I'm a checklist person. I like to do that, and then that, and then that.
I can see that.
And,
no question.
But every year there's some things that come up that you think, golly, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about, at Westbrook, we've got a little bit of a challenge because of parking or lack
Your
thereof.
lane lot.
Lack thereof.
Sure.
And so, there's some things that we have to do with our visiting teams coming in to where we can put appropriate signage out to get them to the gate to where they can come in and then not have to walk all the way around the stadium.
I got to figure it out, Coach. I got to figure it out. You just park at 12th Street Baptist Church and just run a shuttle.
I would love to get to a point
Yeah,
one
run some
day.
from the gym over there.
I would love to get to a point one day to where Westbrook football was competitive on the level that we had to shuttle people from 12th Street. That would be pretty cool.
Sure.
I don't think that's too far fetched.
Well, and I don't think it's too far fetched. It's obviously where we would like to get to, but that is a challenge that we have there, and it's something that our school's working through, something that we're trying to improve. We've actually acquired a little bit of land there that's going to be used for expansion to school because Westbrook's a pretty popular place right now. People are wanting to come, and we're growing and having an opportunity to add some things at the school, and we've had a softball program this upcoming year. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
It
is. But just the good things that are going on there, and the people wanting to come. I mean, and I see it all the time in the office with people have been told there's not a spot in that class, there's not a seat in that class, or whatever grade it might be. That's a good thing. I hate it that people that are wanting to be there might get turned away from time to time because of the limitations. But just little things like that you continue to work through, because you want to be as hospitable as you can to the visiting teams when they come. You want to be able to give them good direction on where to park and how to get to your gate and how you can get in and out, where all these things are. And there'll be some things that come up to my Hoax Bluff. I mean, you see what kind of support they have at Hoax Bluff. It'll be one of our biggest crowds of the year, and it's a non-counting game. But I know that Rob tells his kids the same thing I tell mine. They turn the scoreboard on, they're keeping score. It matters, and both of us will play that game tomorrow as if it's a real game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. At least, for a half of it before you start trying to get some other guys in. I expect their best effort, and I expect our kids to give our best effort. But we'll have a huge crowd tomorrow night for just a jamboree, and the things that I just mentioned is that we're working through are things that we'll have full opportunity to practice tomorrow night.
Does Coach Smith control the Friday night playlist?
Yes and no.
Because every time we've been there, you've got that phone hooked up to the Bluetooth,
and it's good stuff.
And it is good, some good jams.
Everybody, my stuff. Now everybody don't like my stuff.
Not everyone has good taste.
That's right.
But Noel Weiss, he's up in the press box.
Terrible playlist. Good.
Y'all don't know. So if it's good and you like it, then I'll take the credit for it. If you don't like it, holler at Noel.
It was on him.
But it is one of those things. It's kind of like I've been telling. We've got a new scoreboard. We got the video board on it, and we've put a new sound system in. I said, I want our place to be a loud, thumping football Friday night environment. And this is the thing, and I'll say it, this gives me a platform right here to challenge the Westbrook people. A lot of the people that I talk to, they say, y'all getting a video board, y'all getting new sounds, y'all. Then they laugh and they say, well, Westbrook people, they said they don't know how to cheer at a football game. They're not football people. They're not and so all you Westbrook folks, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to prove everybody else wrong, that we are going to create an environment there that's loud and people going on their feet and get into the cheering part of it. But I think there's a misconception out there because we're a private school that we don't have great support, and it can't be farther from the truth. I've played a lot of private schools over the years, and I've seen some very successful private schools that didn't have a lot of support. I mean, that's not uncommon you don't have anybody kind of outside of just your immediate family there. But the city of Rainbow City has been tremendous as far as supporting this school and supporting supporting Westbrook Christian School. And I try to tell folks ours is different. It is a community feel at the private school, and our fans are gonna get excited, and they are gonna get on their feet, and they are gonna cheer, and we are gonna play loud music, and
I'm gonna say you got a couple elderly neighbors that live in that neighborhood that would disagree with that statement that you don't make noise.
Well, that's like I said. I think that just comes from people that have never been there before because you kind of lump all the private schools into
you need
one.
to go. That's a great environment,
and so I'm gonna challenge our fans to make sure that everybody does see that we've got a football mentality there, and we've got a football environment on Friday nights.
Hey, well, I want to mention a couple businesses and people that aren't sponsoring the show, but not that we care, man. That they love Westbrook. People like Chris Ray at Exchange Bank, right? Special dude, special guy, and the Thrashers, Trent Thrasher Construction, fully loaded. Clinic 5, the Thrashers, and Chris Ray Exchange Bank, man.
Tremendous supporters. I said to you, if you didn't know him better, you'd think Thrasher works at the school.
Yeah, right.
I see Trent or some of his representatives there just about daily.
Yeah.
And just been great friends. I got to meet them when I got there, and seeing all the things that they do, working at the school, and everything from electrical work to trenching to construction to just anything and everything.
Trent will call a play. Don't let him fool you.
Well,
he'll slide you on over, Coach. This will work.
That's one of those things. He's just always been very supportive, and I appreciate Trent and his leadership with his crew of being able to help us get things done there at the school.
Yeah, Trent's a good guy, and he jumps on every. Well, he's watching right now. So,
is he
Trent?
watching?
You need to call me, by the way. We gotta have a conversation about something.
Trent's busy.
No, he ain't gonna be busy. We need to have a conversation. So Friday night, tomorrow night,
right
at is it Warrior Stadium?
Jack Osborne.
Jack
Stadium.
Osborne.
Yeah,
That's
Jack Osborne Stadium.
Yeah, and so 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, correct.
Kickoff time. Get there early. There's going to be a party atmosphere. I'm sure the concession stands will be pumping.
Buying their tickets for this.
Oh yeah.
We are still just old-fashioned $10
at the gate.
And that we do $10 and no parking. So some people say $10 and then you turn on something no parking. Well, most places it's 8 or 9.
That's right.
$5 to park. So
that's right.
We just do $10 no parking, and I think that's what Hoax Bluff actually does at their games, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't get on the Go fan wagon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just if you tell me it's $10, then it ought not be $11.50 with a $1.50.
We preach it now, Coach.
So $10 is $10 to me, and I just don't see a need for somebody else that's not out there making $1.50 a ticket off of the ones that's coming to watch their kids play.
That's right. Go ahead.
I'm gonna finish right here, just so you know. We don't do coaches shows during the bye week or off week.
Okay.
You were different.
Yep.
We couldn't wait to talk ball with you. That's why we did this show, because technically you guys don't play this week. We don't do a coaches show during bye weeks, but that's how much we just want to bring you on. We're so excited about the season, just getting to hang out with you a little bit, Coach. So I appreciate you coming in on a day you really wasn't scheduled to have it. So thank you so much. Come and talk a little ball with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm always interested in talking ball, and glad to get a chance to represent our school and talk about Westbrook, because there's a lot of great things going on there.
One question before you go.
Yes, sir.
What does this fan need to try at Westbrook Concession Stand?
Listen, again, I've told y'all many times I'm old-fashioned, right? And there's nothing any better to me when I go to any concession stand. I want to test the nachos.
I'm in.
And I'm not big on the barbecue nachos. Just give me some
Jalapenos or
nachos,
no?
cheese, and extra jalapenos.
I'm saying, Coach, if you go to Douglas, they have by far the best barbecue nachos. And they put just a little bit of the jalapeno juice in that.
Blake Matthews loves that.
He loves the jalapeno juice. It is incredible. I'm telling you.
I would imagine Miss Leah Lloyd she oversees our concessions, and she's a tremendous lady. Works with the concessions of all of our sports. I'd be very surprised if there was anything on the menu that's not good. But me and other sports, going to basketball games or volleyball games or baseball games, other things that we have on campus, obviously I don't go to the concession stand there in football games, but I'm just at nachos with extra jalapenos, and then if I need something salty, just a good old bag of salty popcorn.
So, Ms. Lloyd, can we get a Coach Smith special? That's
We
what
need
needs to be
to
on the
get
board.
on the
I just want the Coach Smith special.
Call it old school.
If it's Coach Smith special, it's going to be nachos with extra peppers.
That's what I'm saying.
Old school, baby. I love
With
it.
what drink? Diet Coke?
Diet Coke. This for a long time Pepsi was the provider there at Buffalo Rock. We did make a switch to Coca-Cola this year, so I'm a Diet Coke or Coke Zero person myself. So you get me a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero and some nachos with extra peppers, I'm in good shape.
You're ready to go.
Get it in the concession now. But give me the Coach Smith.
Tomorrow night, Westbrook Christian, Hoax Bluff Jamboree is going to be a great night. Get out
Head
there and
knocker.
support the Warriors tomorrow night at 7 o'clock right there in Rainbow City off of Highway 77. You can't miss it. Just look for the lights in the sky, bust a left at 12th Street Baptist Church, and you'll just follow the smell of the concession stand.